In this video, we're going to be discussing the subject of having a balance when it comes to our lives, work, and our hobbies. I'm going to discuss how I struggle with what we call the balancing act, but how I've adapted a means to check in with myself, look at my priorities and expectations, because sometimes balance can be skewed by our wants rather than our needs. So we just need to check in and adjust. So let's have a look at this balancing act. Maybe we can discuss our issues and solutions, but before any confusion, this balancing act isn't the one you see in the circus. I wouldn't even know where to begin with that. Okay, that was my attempt at humour. Enough of that. Let's get started. So my brain tends to struggle with phrases and meanings. So sometimes I like to start our discussions with a definition of the subject matter we're going to discuss. Balance, and even distribution of resources without the impact on others. Balancing act, handling multiple things to satisfy a goal or purpose in equilibrium. Not a performance act in the circus. Although that does give me an idea for the challenge series. Huh. So we need to provide time to tasks such as those that we need to live, those at work, and our hobbies. But in order for us to complete them, do a good job, and feel fulfilled, we need to ensure we're doing it in balance so we achieve our goals and don't impact our lives. This concept is called a balancing act. I think the best place for us to start our discussion are signs of imbalance. Sometimes it can be hard for you to know when our balance is off. This is due to our perspective not being realistic or obtainable. So when I'm feeling off, I like to refer to a list, a checklist if you may. I go through each one and treat it as a checking in session for yourself. Grab 5 minutes, take stock of how you're feeling and anything that might be imbalancing you. Here are a few signs of imbalance, but it's a way for you to discover, and there might be other ones that are personal to you and your situation and condition. As always, it's very generalized and based off my experiences, but they can be adapted to help you and others as the concept of checking in can be universal. If tasks that you normally complete with ease are getting more difficult to complete, or if you're finding that your goals aren't reachable, then it might be a sign that there's something out of balance and a change might be in order. This is where the checking in is ideal. Sometimes, when you're in the absence of doing anything, you turn inwards, and this can provide a perspective, an awareness, if you may. Use these moments to see what might be causing these tasks to become more difficult. Once you know what it might be, you can adjust. Now, these adjustments might not always, change things for the better or very promptly, but you're ensuring something that is changing your balance is being corrected. And when we achieve that adjustment and balance, the task should become easier. Now, personally, in my experience, my tasks and objectives become out of reach and not achievable because I set my expectations too high. I need to stop and adjust my perspective as it ends, it's never going to go to plan. When I start to get stuck, it becomes clear and I adjust accordingly for my benefit. Tasks or hobbies you once enjoyed are becoming less enjoyable. Now, this could be because of a multitude of reasons, but it could be that you're having to put more time into other tasks, therefore, less time into the ones you actually enjoy. Has something changed within the task or your hobby that just doesn't sit well with you? Take the time to realize what that change is. Sometimes you can adjust that change if applicable and get that feeling of enjoyment back. But if the circumstances mean you can't adjust to what was previously done, then you need to plan, for how to bring that fun back in another way. Maybe you could find an amateur content creator who has an obsession with hobbies. Maybe I'm really bad at self promotion, but there you go, I do try. Confronting a negative situation in the fact that something you once enjoyed is starting to fade is an achievement in itself. But based on you and your situation, you can make changes, or it might just be time to find something new, and that's okay. Every experience develops our understanding and enjoyment of hobbies and how we go about them. For example, I've had a hobby of playing card games, one in particular, Magic the Gathering, for over 20 years. played it, collected it, and bought and sold it. Now, I know there's a time where I enjoy it and need it, but it becomes a bit of a social commitment and I burn out. So I know it's okay and healthy to retire the hobby until I need it again. Now, there will be times we find ourselves in a state of imbalance, and even after looking at our current situation, we're confused why that is. Sometimes it could just simply be down to health reasons. It could be physical or psychological issues that could be causing things to become more difficult and giving your life a sense of imbalance. During these times, adjust your expectations. I know it can be hard, but you owe it to yourself. There are ongoing health concerns, then things are going to become more difficult, and the likelihood you won't get as much done as you normally would, and that's okay. Take care of yourself, and once you're feeling better, you can get back to having some balance and get on track again. Your physical, mental, and general health and well being is the most important thing in this world. Trust me when I say this, if you're not putting that first, then the joy, the fun, and the experience with your hobby and even your life won't be as it should be. Look after yourself. Come back stronger. When you do that, that hobby of yours will feel just as amazing, plentiful, and benefit as it always was. Sometimes I feel like I'm constantly living a cycle of burnout, shutdowns, but over time I recognize the signs. I check in and I stop myself from going down a road that leads me to, those situations. Know yourself, your flaws, and your needs, and ensure you take care of yourself. Now, it might take some time to master the balancing act, but you get to know yourself, what you're capable of, and what recharges you. But I always find when you get a sense of imbalance in your life, you need to take a few steps. Take some steps backwards. Set yourself some time just to do nothing but think for a short period. That way you can gain some perspective. You might not even know what's happening, but by stopping and looking inwards, you might shine a light on the issues which gain us perspective on the actual situation, which allows us to identify problems. See, we start to see the cracks and the problems so we can make adjustments. When you're truly aware of the problem, it gets easier. Maybe not simple to make adjustments, but at least start researching, learning, and looking for answers. But while doing this, reset your expectations. It's important to know that this process takes time. Things won't change overnight, but you're taking steps to improve things. We achieve all of this by allowing ourselves to stop, look inwards, and find what those problems are and focus on solving them rather than trying to force positive outcomes by ignoring the negative ones. There will be times we need to put more time and effort into work due to a deadline, the house might need decorating, or the weather isn't ideal for your hobby. The point being, the weight of our needs and wants are constantly changing. In order to retain balance, we need to ensure we're aware of that and, make adjustments in the short term to help the long term. Get into the habit of taking some time out each day, week, or even month. Grab yourself a brew and just to see if there are things weighing on you a little more than usual. It's okay to drop things to provide more time and energy to others that need it. And then once you've resolved that, you can get back to where you want to be. Now, I admit a lot of this video has been a lot of my own self reflection, as with most of my content, but it was important for me to tackle this subject matter early on. I was hoping for it to be a bit lighter with the whole circus joke, etc., but oh well, my intentions are there. I just wanted everybody to ensure they're looking after themselves, taking time out of all this chaos in the world and adjusting to our needs prior to our wants. I've been through so many moments in my life I didn't understand why something felt so wrong and imbalanced. I never stopped working on myself and the situation for the betterment of myself, others, and my hobbies. Okay, that's my ramblings over with. But do you have any stories or questions you would like to share regarding the balancing of your life and hobbies? There might be others like myself that gain something from hearing the tales of others. We as a community would love to listen, embrace your experiences, or just help you in whatever way we can. Sometimes our ideas of what balance actually is can be a little skewed and maybe not actually realize that we're imbalanced. Make sure to look after yourselves and don't be afraid to make adjustments. Keep an eye on your priorities, manage your expectations, and know that you can rebalance any time based on your needs. My balancing act can be difficult with my autism, but I could focus on a task for hours, days, and then panic I haven't done essential tasks like eat and drink. Always check in with yourself and take care. Well, this felt like more of a self help and therapy session than I expected, but maybe that's what I needed, or a particular viewer might have needed. On that note, I hope you become a part of our community, contribute in whichever way you want, and I'll see you in the next video. Oh, if you're feeling like, don't forget to leave a like. Supposedly that helps me, I'm told. If you want to see more of this chaos content, subscribe, and no matter what, just have a nice day. Oh, you could check out the description of the video for video recommendations, other content creator recommendations, and helpful information. But there's also a bonus at the bottom of the description if you haven't noticed yet on these videos. Thank you for watching and being part of this community, and I hope to see you in the next video and in the comments section. Really got to figure out a way of ending these videos. I get so jittery at the end. Oh, I'm still recording, aren't I? Okay, anyway, I think that's it. Goodbye. Hand waving. Pew, pew, pew.